Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining the Science Abroad China Programming Information session today. I'm going to start session with a land acknowledgement. We wish to acknowledge this land on which the University of Toronto operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the Credit. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. Here's the agenda for today. I'm Selena, Program Coordinator for the Science Abroad programs. I will start with an overview of the Science Abroad programs, and then I have a few guests to join me today and to present in the webinar. And after the overview, and the Professor Colleen Dockstader, she will provide you more details about the course details of the HMB 396 course. Then I will give you more information about the location-specific information, including accommodation, and also some other information related to the location. I also joined by two students today, and they are the past participants in the last summer abroad program in the Shandong and Taiwan location. So they will share about their experience in these two locations, so that can also help you to say like which one you would like to choose. And on my colleague, EDIA coordinator, Wen Zhe, she will speak about the EDIA resources and support that provided through EDIA. Next, I will give you more information about the application process, like how to apply and a reference letter and when we assess application, what we are looking for. Then followed by Q&A. So what is Science Abroad? So Science Abroad is a bit different from our regular summer abroad courses. Our regular summer abroad courses usually only 4 weeks long, but for Science Abroad, it's usually 7 to 12 weeks because you are going to do a research in a research facilities overseas. It's a full year science credit. It's not a transfer credit. So you are going to get a U of T credit, which can use towards your graduation. This is a great opportunity for students and to work in a lab, international institution, and we do not really require you have lab experience before you apply. So while you are doing this course, you are going to have a mix of formal and informal instruction. You are going to work closely with your supervisor in the lab. You are also work with the graduate students and students in the lab as well. We only accept a small number of students in each location. So this is a great opportunity for your students to connect together and also have a close relationship with the professor as well. Now I would like to invite Professor Colleen Dockstader. She is going to speak about HMB 396 course. Over to you.
Nice to meet everybody who's here. So this is the summary. So of course, as Celine already said, you get a 1.0 credit from U of T, and this is done in the summer. You'll work with supervisors in the field at Shandong University or in Taiwan. And there's various ways that you will earn your course credit. Of course, the majority of that comes down to the work that you do in the labs and your research. But as you can see on the bottom, you'll also participate in weekly journal clubs or seminars. They don't look the same from every lab to another. So you'll have some conversations with your supervisors to understand exactly how you will be assessed within their lab. Typically, there's also an oral presentation at some point during this process. The final part, which is in the bottom right of this screen, is the written report, which is graded by me and is worth 50% of your mark. So as I accommodate you asynchronously mostly through the summer, I will be providing you information, resources, and support mostly around writing up your written report and certainly also in any troubleshooting questions or concerns that you have while you're during your stay. And so this is just a screenshot from Quarkus, and I certainly don't need you to read it all. I would like you to notice at the top that I do provide what I call international student office hours. So I've been in the past running them Tuesday mornings, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., which is usually 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. for students who are there. But I also can accommodate different times. I know that most of the work we do together is asynchronous, just based on the timeline, but I want to be able to be in person with you whenever possible, and I was able to coordinate with students to do this. Some students like to have office hours with me at 11 a.m., and I'm like, is it 11 p.m. for you, or is it 1 a.m. for you? And that's totally fine too if you're a night owl. The box that you see up top is really just to be clear that even though we have a real structure and infrastructure to our assessment process that it's really important that you communicate well with your PI while you are there. We will help you facilitate that. Both myself and Celine and her group will help you so that you communicate thoroughly and often with your supervisor. But it is important to maintain regular communications with them because everyone has a slightly different idea of what the assessments will look like in details. In terms of lectures, there's 5 to 6 lectures. You can see this on the bottom here across the course. The timing is not awesome. Of course, you can see it's 3 p.m. We also have international research project students at other universities, and we have local research projects. So the time is based on a local time in the afternoon, but everything is recorded so that all HMB 396 students will be able to access the recordings. We also have offline chats in Quarkus, as well as I believe some of the HMB 396 students did their own chats, and the students who are here today could speak to that. So for everyone, the breakdown is the same. There's flexibility if your PI wishes to do it differently, certainly. And you can see about a third of your mark is based on weekly contribution to dialogue and communication within the labs. That usually takes the form of a journal club. 15% will be based on your performance, and that is not how good you are at something, but your learning curve, your interest in learning and determination to do a good job. And then the last half of the mark is the final report, which is due right at the end of the summer. And so I'm not going to spend time on the next few slides, but I'll just let Celine go through them. This just gives you an idea of the type of information that's covered in the lecture. So I will walk you through what a research project looks like, the objective rationale, the approaches, your hypotheses. If you're in person, you can participate. For asynchronous students, we can have a separate chat group. I will walk you through the components of your final report. So we spend the first part of the course really talking about what is the introduction, what does that look like, what are its components. I will spend, about 3 or 4 lectures, which are about an hour to 2 hours long, really digging in how to do this. So this is obviously on once you start getting results, what type of analysis will you do and what will that look like? And of course, it's always guided by your PI, but I will give you workshops on stats if you wish. I will certainly give you workshops on research methods and the types of ways to present data. This might be important when you're doing your oral presentation at some point during your experience. There's also one more slide on how to write the discussion section, and I will get to that in the later part of your course. What I do want to direct you to is, even though you're going to be very far away from us, we still have lots of resources for you. In addition to myself providing hours that accommodate you and having an asynchronous interactions as well, we do have resources in the summer that offer asynchronous support for students. One is the New College Writing Center, with which Human Biology is affiliated. They offer asynchronous writing support. So essentially you book an appointment, you submit your draft of your work or a rough copy or a final copy of your work and what your concerns are, and they will flip it back to you in 24 hours. And so this is offered at New College Writing Center in the summers. Student Life also offers some asynchronous support using learning strategists, and they have other online tools. So I don't want you to feel like you're left alone in the writing process. We absolutely will help you, even though our timelines might not match. And so this I'm going to talk to you about lots next summer, but not right now, and the importance of work-life balance that I probably didn't learn until I was about 53. And I would like you to learn much earlier. And so we'll talk a little bit about the non-academic aspects of your research journey and what that might look for you and how to take care of yourself during a really interesting, fun, and busy time for you. And that's it from me.
Thank you very much, Colleen. This is very helpful. So for HMB 396, we are going to offer it in 2 locations next year. One location is in Taiwan, and we work with the College of Biological Science and Technology at the National Yangming Chiao-Tung University. And this one is going to be 7 weeks, starting from June 21st to August 9th. And the other location is Shandong. It's in Jinan City. So in Shandong, we work with the School of Medicine at Shandong University in Jinan, China. So this is a 9-week program. It's going to start at the beginning of June until August as well. Okay, now we go to Shandong University. So Shandong University is one of the top 20 universities in China. and one of the largest universities in China with more than 60,000 full-time students. When you go there, you will see for Shandong University, they have many affiliated hospitals and also the teaching hospitals as well. So in this location, students are going to be doing research mainly in hospital laboratories. So if you are a student who are interested in doing the medical school later, and this might be a very good location for you to consider. So some research topics in China include immunology, metabolic disease, neuroscience, like for those. Here are some photos of the accommodation in Jinan. So this is usually students will be placed in the international student residence in the university. So there are two types of rooms for you to choose. The photos you see is a double room. Okay, so in a double room, and you will have a washroom embedded in the double room. But for a single room, and you will need to use the shared washroom. The price is very reasonable, but for now, and we do not have the cost published on the website now, but later you can check and to see the price. So for students who are admitted to this program, you can choose like which one whether you would like to stay in a single room or double room. If you have a preferred roommate, and we will also accommodate that as well. Here are some photos, lab photos in Shandong University, so that you can take a look. In Qinsu, and we work with the College of Biological Science and Technology. NYTU is also top research university with more than 10,000 students. It is located at the center of Qinsu Science Park, so it's a very convenient location. And some research topics in Taiwan include cell biology and biochip lab, metabolic engineering, molecular engineering, imaging lab as well. So for Taiwan and this location, students are mainly conducting research in university laboratories. Here is a map about Taiwan, like the location. Here's the Qinsu city, and this is Taiwan. So students usually are going to fly to Taipei and then travel to Qinsu. In Taiwan, and students who are going to be placed in double room of 4 students per room. They have 2 campuses. One is Guangfu campus or Boao campus. It depends on which lab you were assigned to. So if you are going to be assigned to a lab in Guangfu campus, that means you are going to stay in Guangfu campus. So it really depends on your supervisor and your lab location. So room you may be shared with other international Taiwanese students. Last year, I believe our students were placed in double room, but in the past years, we do have students who are placed in 4 students per room as well. There are 3 cafeteria on campus so that you do all have access to. I will want to show you some room photos. So this is in Guangfu campus. You can say this is the room photo, and you are going to use the shared washroom like for both locations. And the other one, this one is a residence at the Boao campus. I'm going to share the link like on the website so that a student can go in the link to see like what the residence look like. They have more photos. I'm just selected a few photos for you to give you a reference. This is a double room. You can see that 2 beds and this hallway and a washroom. Okay, now I would like to invite Bo Pang, and she participated in 2024 Shandong program. So she would like to share about her experience in this program with you.
So, hi everyone, my name is Bo. I'm currently in my 3rd year majoring in health and diseases with minors in immunology and physiology. So for this past summer, from June to August 2024, I had the opportunity to participate in the Summer Abroad Research Program in Shandong University, and I'm very excited today to share my experience with all of you. So I applied to this program because I've always been interested in understanding the disease mechanisms on a deeper level, and I was eager to gain some hands-on research experiences that goes beyond what I could learn in the classroom. And additionally, I wanted to challenge myself to step outside of my comfort zone by studying in a brand new environment. So that was just my motivation. I wanted to say that when you guys apply for this program, think about your motivation. So when filling out this application form, we were asked to choose our research interest and a potential principal investigator. So there was a list provided for the PIs and their research topics, and we had to rank our top 3 choices. So I was really fortunate to be accepted into my second choice, which focus on neuroanatomy and mood disorders. My assigned PI was really incredibly supportive, and they even invited me to several of their dinner parties, so which made me feel really welcomed. However, my PI was also really quite strict and held me into really high expectations because out of all the students, as far as I know, I was the only one who required to actually have a full presentation on my research proposal. But yeah, it was also like a chance to practice my presentation skills. So I really appreciate that. I want to talk about my research project. So my project focused on the major depressive disorder. So specifically investigating the potential effects of liquid chalcone B as a treatment option. So the liquid chalcone B is an active component of the licorice. It's like a Chinese traditional medicine called Gancao. And so the goal was to examine whether this compound could actually target the neuroinflammation and reduce the hyperactivation of the microglia that is often associated with the depression. I wanted to say that although my major isn't directly related to neuroscience, this project opened my eyes to a potential area of my future interest in doing research. And so throughout this program, I gained a wealth of hands-on experience. I performed several behavior tests on mice models to study for the depressive-like symptoms. And I also conducted the molecular biology experiments, like the common lab techniques, including the Western blot and immunofluorescence. So the experience was really informative, but it's not overly intense. Which allowed me to absorb and apply what I was learning effectively. And so I think overall, this program has a significant impact on my academic journey and has inspired me to explore new fields of research. It was an incredibly rewarding experience that I would highly recommend to anyone interested in expanding their horizons. And for those of you who are considering applying, my advice would just be don't hesitate, because it is really a unique opportunity to grow both academically and personally, and allow you to explore research settings in different countries, which is important if you want to do research in the future. Thank you so much for listening. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, next, I would like to invite Matt Yi to share about his experience in the Taiwan program.
Hi, so my name is Mahdi Chowdhury, and I'm a final year student who's majors in human biology and psychology. And I think my experience was actually very similar to Bo's, where initially when applying, and I'm sure it's probably similar for a lot of you, I was a little bit worried, a little bit nervous, hesitating. But in the end, I decided to apply, and it was honestly one of the better choices I've made in my undergrad. The program in Taiwan, I think, is a really, really great program. Just the logistics of it, once you get there, they do a really good job of making you feel like, you're part of the lab. They always ask you to hang out. The PI is always checking in on you. He's very, or at least my PI was very involved. He was, keeping up with what I was doing. The students in the lab were incredibly nice. They do a really good job at, trying to make sure you feel comfortable, in a new country. And I think it's a really great experience to be able to, explore and study and work in a different country, like Bill said. As for the research, it's very, very rewarding. For me, it was very intensive. It was something I really liked. My PI was very relaxed with what hours we had to come into the lab and leave the lab. So it was very on your own as long as you get the things done. So many nights I would stay late night in the lab or start early in the morning. So it really did feel like, you were conducting your own research. It doesn't feel like you were in this really structured course, which was something that was new for me, and I really kind of enjoyed that experience. For my research specifically, I worked on the destruction of microtubules, and it was very interesting where I got to extract neurons from mice models, and I got to do all sorts of tests and imaging and adding fluorescence, GFP, and cloning, and all these procedures that I've learned about in school, but haven't had the chance to do so thoroughly. And my PI, the grad students, they're very helpful. They're really eager to make sure you learn and how to do it properly. Just the community at NYCU it's really nice. And then even going with the other students that you'll be going with, you create a little bit of like a tight knit bond where you guys travel and you do things together, and you get to go see different cities. And you can see in the photo, I went to go up this mountain in Taipei, and it was honestly a ridiculously beautiful view. I think going to Taiwan and working really hard on your research, and then once you're done, being able to explore the country with all the help that you get from the program here at U of T and from NYCU in Taiwan, really makes it a really good program. And I recommend it to anyone who's hesitating or a little bit worried, or maybe you might find it difficult to integrate at first, but I think it's really seamless, and I would recommend it for anyone who's on the fence. And yeah, if you have any other questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. But yeah, that was just my experience in Taiwan.
Thank you very much. Okay, before you apply, actually it's not really still considered as COVID-19, but it's still post COVID-19, right? Please review the COVID-19 planning page from Safety Abroad. So when you go to Safety Abroad website, you can still get that. And also they go through all the travel checklist to guide you through the important things you need to do before before you travel. Please also stay up to date with the COVID-19 vaccines because you are traveling to another country. Different country may have different requirement. So just make sure that you have everything ready before you travel. Now I would like to invite our EDIA coordinator from our office, Wenzhe. She will speak about the EDIA resources we provide from EDIA.
Thank you, Selena. Hi, everyone. My name is Wenzhe, and I'm the program coordinator for diversity and inclusion from the Summer Abroad office. So Summer Abroad is committed to supporting all students in your study abroad experience, and we have launched a webpage of EDIA equity, diversity, inclusion, and accessibility resources for the diverse groups of student communities who are interested in applying to study abroad. For those one are looking for resources to help inform their choice and that consider their lived experiences and identities. There are targeted resources for various student communities, including students with disabilities, first-generation students, etc. So you can feel free to scan the QR code at the right or go to our website and click the EDIA and accessibility tab and learn more details. As you start planning for your summer abroad journey, you may already realize that different countries have distinct cultures, norms, and political landscapes. Understanding the cultural nuances of your chosen destination can help you better navigate the local context and embrace the local experience. We encourage you to explore information on local customs and traditions, as the knowledge will enable you to engage with locals in a respectful and culturally sensitive manner. And we have a dedicated page for site or region-specific EDIA resources for our students. You can also scan the QR code at the right or go to our website and click the EDIA and accessibility tab for details. We strongly encourage you to reach out to the program coordinator, diversity and inclusion, that is me, if you have any EDIA-related inquiries. You can also virtual advising session with me, book appointment page on our website, or just scan the QR code at the right to book an appointment with me as well. As Summer Abroad is committed to providing a welcoming and inclusive environment for everyone, work closely with the U of T Accessibility Services Office to ensure resources are made available for students living with disabilities or require diverse learning needs. Any students who may require disability-related accommodations or support for Summer Abroad courses will need to first register with the Accessibility Services Office so that an effective accommodation plan can be put in place before you travel abroad. It is critical that students contact Accessibility Services as soon as possible and discuss any potential travel or course plans with their accessibility advisor well in advance of finalizing their participation in the program. And it is important to note that Accessibility Services is not tri-campus, and each campus has their respective office. So if you are with, for example, the St. George campus, you will need to go to the Accessibility Services at St. George campus. Last but not least, the Summer Abroad Inclusion, Diversity, and Excellence Award is a new award that grants undergraduate students who have contributed to the advancement of equity, diversity, and inclusion. There are 4 awards available for 5,000 Canadian dollars each and can play a significant part of your funding. You will be also able to view the biographies of the 2024 and 2023 recipients on our website. That's all from me. Over to you, Selena. Thank you.
Thank you, Wenzhe. Okay, now I would like to walk you through the application procedures. Our application is going to open on December 13th at 10 a.m. So check at the time and when you are go to our website, and the application deadline for Science Abroad program is January 15 at 4 p.m. Please make sure that you submit your application before January 15. This year, we have an earlier deadline for Science Abroad. Application fee is going to be $210. That will, when you apply for the program, and you will need to submit the application fee. Reference letter is required for this course. So if you, but for reference letter, don't worry too much because we accept a reference letter from your professor. If you have someone like a professor you really work well with, and or you can find your TA. And because we understand some student may for now and you don't have some lab experience. And so you can also go to your TA for reference letter or your supervisor in your workplace. So we would really want to know like anyone who knows you well to provide a reference letter for you. And also supervisor form. Later I will show you a copy to say what a supervisor form look like. New for 2025 is that we highly possible that we are going to include a recorded interview component and which students will ask to speak about adaptability and other other general questions. So we will give you more details once your application is submitted. So here is a 25 supervisor form just for your reference. So each students and are going to, when our application is open, you can go there to download the supervisor form for each location. For each location, supervisor form is very different. That's how you choose your supervisor as well. We will ask you to rank top 3 choices of lab supervisors you would like to work with. For Taiwan location, we are going to ask you to rank the top 4 choices. This supervisor form is from Shandong University. So you can say that we will ask you to rank and the lab supervisor you chose and also your academic background. So we would like you to write about any relevant courses or experience you have, like why you are the most suitable person for this lab. So on the second page of the supervisor form, you are going to say a list of lab supervisors and their research area. So for Shandong University, you can see the students, the professor's name and the research team and the lab name and their research areas. I would advise you to also do some research like on the professor if you want to learn more information other than this. So we do for Taiwan location, on their supervisor forum, you can also, some supervisors also have a website as well, so that you can go to the website to learn more information about that supervisor. So for admission criteria for Science Abroad is that we will look at your academic record over the last 12 months and also your academic record over your CGPA in U of T as well. And we will make sure that you will need to meet the prerequisites and relevant to the courses to your program study. So most students who you apply for this program, you will need to have 8.5 FCEs and with relevant courses in human biology. We also have a personal statement in the application form, but on the application form, we try to break down the personal statement into 3 to 4 questions for you to answer. So these are just sample questions and not exactly questions you will see, but there are sample questions. Like we would like to know like why you are prepared to go abroad, right? Like a situation, you adapt to a new environment. And also for Science Abroad students and in your application, we will require you to answer some supplemental questions because for those questions, I would say, are very important. We are going to send your application to our partner university. So the partner university, the supervisors, they are going to select the students. So your supervisor form and also the questions, the answers you put into the application are very important for your pair with the supervisor in the partner university. And we will also have a video assessment part. And for this one, haven't confirmed yet, but you will get more information when our application is open. So after you submit your application in mid-January, you are going to receive admission notification in late January for Taiwan or early February for Taiwan. And for Shandong location, you probably will receive it in mid-February. So for those 2 locations, after you receive the admission notification, and we will ask you to confirm your participation in the program. If you decided that you will apply and you will participate in the program, you will need to pay 1,000 deposit to secure your spot in this program. Otherwise, and we will provide this spot to another student who are on the waiting list. So the remaining fees are due on April 2nd, but for this one, we haven't is not confirmed yet. May have an earlier remaining fee deadline. Remaining fees, that means that all the fees you will need to pay to U of T. So currently we do not have the cost chart ready, but when in early December, by December 13th, when our application is open, we will have the remaining, all the fees chart like on our website. So you can go there to check like the fees paid to U of T is the fees that you need to pay before the remaining fee due deadline. So for Summer Abroad awards, and awards range from 2,500 to 7,000 depending on the program. The awards application is embedded in the Summer Abroad application. So when you apply for Summer Abroad programs, if you are eligible for award, you can also apply for award application. So the awards application deadline is the same as your application deadline. So for awards, it's only available to U of T students who have completed at least 4 credits by December 2024 with a minimum CGPA of 2.25. So for student, because you will need to final payment, it will need to be due in April. So we really encourage students to budget now so that you have a better understanding of like how you are going to pay out the program. And also, except for the Summer Abroad Award, you can also check your registrar's office, Faculty of Arts and Science or department for possible awards or bursaries. Every year we have students receive awards from different resources, so that look around and to see if there's any other awards that are available to you. For the Science Abroad programs, there is a Dr. Stanley Ho Scholarship available for a student who wants to do research in China region or in China, so that this is a scholarship that will be available to the Science Abroad China program. And also CIE, they also provide IE Plus Award, which is a maximum of 8,000 in 2 years. So students who participate in Summer Abroad program, many students also apply for IE Plus Award as well. And all courses are U of T courses, so they are all eligible for OSAP. If you're currently on OSAP, you can just apply for Summer OSAP extension. We also have a How to Finance Your Summer Abroad webinar, which will be on January 9th. If you are interested in learning more about how to finance your summer abroad, I would highly recommend you to participate in that webinar so that you can get more information. So for visa, and for students are responsible for arranging your own visa. So if you have any, we will provide you a document to support you for your visa application. For Taiwan location, it's possible that our Taiwan institution will also support our students with the visa application as well. So we highly recommend students to apply in Toronto if possible, because when you're applying for visa, it's possible that in other countries they have a different requirement. They may need extra documents we may not be able to provide. So highly recommend students to apply visa in Toronto if possible. Here is our 2025 timeline for Science Abroad programs. So in early December, our program will be open, and on December 13th. And then in January, and the students are going to attend information sessions for other summer abroad programs. But for Science Abroad, we have an earlier deadline so that we have an information session now. And for January 15 is the application for programs and awards, the deadline. And then 1 week after your admission notification, you are going to pay 1,000 deposit to confirm your spot in the program. And then you pay the remaining fees and you are going to travel in July for these two programs. We are quite active on Instagram. You can go to our Instagram to learn more information about the students' experience in different locations. Go there and to check the students' experience for last summer or like the summer before. We all have like the students' experience, because for each location we will have a social media correspondent. They will like write about the stories about why they are there, so that you can really learn more about the program. If you need more information, you can always visit our website or attend an information session like what you are doing now. And also you can book a virtual appointment with a summer abroad advisor. So if you go to our website and there is a book a virtual appointment, then book a virtual appointment with us. You can also join Discord, which is run by our summer abroad ambassadors. So they will give you more information share about their experience in this program. Okay, that's all for me. Yeah, if you have any questions, and you can type your question in the Q&A. So is the reference letter to be submitted as part of the application, or will only the contact information of the referee needed in the application? Yes, so only contact information of the referee will need it in the application. So after you submit the contact information of the referee, your referee are going to receive an automatic email from our system, so that we'll invite him or her to submit the reference letter online. So the reference letter is just an online form, so that she need to submit for you. Video interview, is there a section of the application due on January 15? Yes, so that's why it's better for you to apply earlier. The assessed academic record of the last 12 months include the current semester for 2024. Yes, including the current semester for 2024. But when we see your CGPA, we should be able to see your CGPA. So your CGPA calculation usually would be in January, would be late January. So in that case, your fall 2024 will be included in the CGPA calculation. Okay, the other question I would like to invite Maggie to answer. How was the living situation there? Were you comfortable with the accommodations?
The living situation, it's okay. Like I think it's like the accommodations are kind of as expected, and it's definitely a little bit different, which I think is also expected when you're going abroad. So you get used to it, it's fine. And when you're with the other students, I think it's like it works out fine. It's like as expected. I think one thing that was like maybe a big difference, maybe not, was that the dorms at the NYCU, the shared washrooms, there's actually they're all sitting toilets, like the one that's in the ground, which I don't know if it's like a big deal for you guys. But the lab, like you can just use the washroom in the lab, which is like right by the dorms, which some of the other students I went with, that's what they did. Like that's like the main biggest difference. Other than that, I think it's like as you saw in the photos, it looks pretty similar to that. But yeah, the washrooms look like a little different, but you have the lab which is right by, if that's a big concern for you.
Okay, I didn't see more questions coming, so I'm going to end the session now. So thank you very much for joining the Science Abroad China information session. I hope you get all the information you need. Please check our website in December to see the latest information for Science Abroad China program. And we will have the cost chart there so that you can also see the cost chart and awards information. If you have any other questions after you see the website, and if you can always book an appointment with me so that we can discuss. Thank you very much for coming. And also thank you, Colin and Maddie, and also Wenjie as well. So thank you very much for joining this info session and to share about your insight on this program. Thank you.